History books show cannibalism not isolated to Jamestown. One of the most famous incidents involved the Donner Party, a group of American pioneers who ate their fellow travelers to stay alive. In 1846, they'd become snowbound in the Sierra Nevada during an ill-fated journey to California. Well, then in 1874 came the Kirkpatrick disaster. The British emigrant ship caught fire off the coast of Good Hope, and its 5 survivors resorted to eating their dead companions as they wanted and awaited rescue. And more recently, 16 members of a Uruguayan rugby club survived by consuming human flesh for 2 months after their plane crashed in the Andes in 1972 for an act that is relatively rare. There are many scholars out there who study cannibalism. I was fascinated by this. One of them is science journalist Sarah Everts, and she joins me now on Skype from Berlin. Sarah, did the findings that English settlers in North America turned to cannibalism surprise you?
I found it a tragic story, but I wasn't at all surprised or shocked. Unfortunately, famine cannibalism is a reality that's been taking place in civilized society for a very long time. As early as medieval England, there are reports that during famines, human flesh was actually sold in marketplaces. And as you've pointed out, there's many modern examples of this so-called famine cannibalism, where people are so hungry that they have no other choice but to eat one another.
That was going to be my next question. Why did people turn to cannibalism? Is it because they were desperate to survive, or is it at one stage that they were just hungry, as it were? It was just part of the daily sort of thing, diet.
I mean, it's hard to say. I wasn't there, but there's also many other kinds of cannibalism that have taken place throughout history. I mean, there's medical cannibalism that was taking place in Europe at the same time that this famine happened in Jamestown. Jamestown took place in 1609. That same century was the height of a practice called eating mummy, where people from England to Spain would eat parts of mummies imported from Egypt to cure their ailments. And it became so popular that when there wasn't enough money to go around, people began to eat local cadavers, and not just skin, but flesh, bone, blood,
Lovely.
Every part.
Lovely. It's getting late here and I need to go to bed soon. I don't want to have nightmares. So let's just close this out with one other question. No, so I'm being very serious here. Are there cases of cannibalism today? And what's the sort of health risk involved?
Well, there's a very real health risk, particularly if you eat the brain. For example, last century, in the 20th century, there was a case of prion disease, like mad cow disease, but in humans, that took place in Papua New Guinea. There's people called the Foray people, and as part of their funeral rites, they would eat family members. It was a respectful goodbye, effectively. But unfortunately, there was an outbreak of prion disease that was linked to the consumption of their dead relatives' brains.